Thank you very much for the opportunity this morning to be here. And I've been asked to come and present about the information on the Regional Business Fund programs. But before that, I would like to take a step back and talk about the question that I get often is, what is Regional Business Fund, Inc., and where do you receive and where have you been funded for in the past? It's a great story. It's a great story about collaboration and cooperation within West Central Wisconsin, so it's one I do like to share. Are we there yet? There we are, thanks. Regional Business Fund, Inc. is a nonprofit entity that is its programs are to promote business and economic development in West Central Wisconsin. It serves a 7-county region that spans over the area of the Wisconsin-Minnesota border over to the central part of the state. So it includes St. Croix and Polk, Barron, Dunn, Chippewa, Clare, and Clark counties. How was the organization funded? The Regional Business Fund was actually funded and established in 1995 when West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission received a grant from the federal government from the EDA administration. And so for 10 years, the fund operated and managed that small dollar amount of about $400,000. And then in 2005, there was an initiative by the Wisconsin Department of Commerce and former staff at West Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission to look at the initiative of consolidating community-based revolving loan fund programs. And this was an initiative because the region saw and the state saw that there were some advantages of doing this. For many years, communities, including all 7 counties and 24 other cities, villages, and townships, received funding through the Community Development Block Grant program through the state of Wisconsin. And through that funding, they were able to establish revolving loan fund programs. 30 out of 31 communities in our region did have these programs set up. The advantages of consolidating these programs were, number one, as you can imagine, with 31 different programs, there were at least 31 different people administering these programs, so streamlining that administration. Number two, looking at the utilization and these funds being used within 31 communities. Expanding that, including it as a regional fund, opens it up to all communities within the region. And then, of course, the last and probably the most advantageous component was removing the federal requirements when the funds were consolidated into a nonprofit entity. So in May 2007, the Consolidated Fund was established. 30 out of 31 communities did consolidate the programs to establish a program that is capitalized at about $16 million. $5 million in cash and $11 million in loan receivables were brought together. Through the consolidation and the lifting of the federal requirements, 4 distinct programs were able to be established to help businesses expand in the region. So going into the specifics of the program then, the first program that is available through the Regional Business Fund is the Revolving Loan Fund Program. It is a program that works much like the funds did at the community level. It's a gap financing tool for businesses that are looking to expand and grow within the region. It offers loan amounts above $25,000. I often get the question, well, what is the maximum amount that is available? There is a comfort level at Regional Business Fund of about $250,000. The reason I mention that is because anything above that $250,000 level on a request that we receive in gap financing, we do look at Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation to come in and look at possibly providing financing above and beyond that $250,000. This program works mostly with the projects within the region that have a larger economic impact on an individual basis. The program is designed to provide low interest financing, and the interest rate today is at 4%. The terms are anywhere from 5 to 10 years, and one of the advantages of the program is we do have the ability to have flexible repayment terms. Collateral is required, personal guarantees are required, and that is actually the same for all of our programs. We do provide economic development funds, but at the same time want to make sure that there is good lending practices in place. I do get the question a lot about what types of businesses can access these dollars. It is across the gamut: manufacturing of all sizes, warehouses, transportation companies, professional offices, and some retail and restaurants as well. And so I find that the best way to tell the story about how these funds can be used is to give some examples. The first one here is the Christian Community Home of Osceola. This is a project that Regional Business Fund did provide a larger loan amount from the standpoint of it was about $400,000. However, the project was almost $10 million in creating 50 jobs. Our funds were used for the purpose of purchasing furniture, fixtures, and equipment for this property. And so the funds can be used for many different purposes as well. Another example is a company in River Falls, Wisconsin, Air Motion Systems. This is one of the first projects, I would say, that we worked on after the consolidation. This is a company that was located in Colorado and looked at moving the headquarters to River Falls, and they did. So the project included the construction of a building, purchasing of equipment, working capital, and of course with the construction of the building included needing of lighting and furniture and fixture. And so the Regional Business Fund was able to come in and provide financing for that purpose. As the consolidation took place, there were many conversations, and one of the conversations that was had is what type of financing is not available within the region today. And again, this was back in 2005. And so the Regional Business Fund looked at where those gaps in financing were, and one of them was gaps or financing for startup businesses. So the Microloan Program was established, and it provides financing specifically for startup businesses or businesses that have been in business for less than 2 years or so. It provides $5,000 up to $25,000 for eligible uses such as in general startup cost, furniture, fixtures, equipment purchases, working capital, leasehold improvements, and many other purposes. None of our programs can be used for refinancing, but that's about one of the only ineligible uses. Again, the interest rate is 4%. Terms range from 3 to 10 years. This is a program, as well as our other programs. If we are working with a startup business, we always require a business plan. And so there are a lot of resources out there within our region to help businesses and people looking to start a business with their business plan establishment. Another program that was established is the Downtown Facade Program. This program is to encourage the revitalization and remodeling of core downtowns within our region. Many of the communities within West Central Wisconsin do have lending authority for this program. It is a program that provides up to $30,000 at very favorable rates, including a 0% interest rate and a term up to 15 years. Again, we do require collateral, and it's in the form of a mortgage on the building. This is an example here in New Richmond, and was one of our first projects. I think is an excellent example of what this program can accomplish. And these were two businesses that worked together to revitalize their buildings. It's Chickadee Doodah and Swempy's right downtown New Richmond. The fourth program I'm going to touch on today is the Technology Enterprise Fund. And this fund is a program that works with new and emerging technology companies. Provides a loan in the amount of $100,000 up to $250,000 and is designed to work with private capital. So there does need to be at least a 1-to-1 match of private dollars. It's a very flexible program from the standpoint of its patient debt. So the terms at the onset of the project are very favorable to the company and work with the cash flow as they get developed or continue their research or get to market. If they're in market, maybe they're going to be going to a next level within the market. So with the establishment of the Consolidated Fund, and May marks the 6-year anniversary, I do like to highlight some of the successes of the consolidation and really the showing the region as a region that collaborates and cooperates to accomplish good things for businesses. To date, the fund has lent out $18.7 million to 333 businesses. And if you recall at the beginning of my presentation, the consolidation brought $16 million together. This indicates that all of the dollars over the last 6 years plus more have revolved. So the program is really working in the way that it was designed to. One interesting note is with all of the emphasis on startup businesses and expanding businesses, 136 of those 333 businesses are startup businesses. These businesses have retained 2,200 jobs, are looking to create over 1,600 jobs over the next couple of years. And the average award per job created or retained is $4,800. $94.8 million have been leveraged in private capital. And through the Microloan Program and the Technology Enterprise Fund, new technology type businesses are being developed, new technology is being formed, and many of the communities within our region are revitalizing their downtowns. As Tom mentioned at the beginning of this morning's program, Regional Business Fund is one component of economic development. It's the financing component. It absolutely is required to look at our team. And we work with the entire network, including very closely with the corporations, economic development corporations within the county. The lenders within the region are a huge part of our network. And then, of course, there are some communities that have community-based loan pools as well. We work with CDCs throughout the area, including Wisconsin Business Development, working with SBA programs and WIDA, USDA, angel networks and equity funds within the region, as well as Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and on a regular basis. So I was going to transition. I thought Ryan was going to be after me, so I thought it was a great transition there. But with that, I do want to thank you again for the opportunity this morning.